Hey guys, it's Ashley Simone here, y'all. Y'all wouldn't believe which take this is on this video tonight. I have to get this video out, okay? I am tired. But we're going with the flow. We're going with the flow. Hopefully one day I will be able to go live on YouTube instead of pre-recording these videos because it's crazy. But as usual, I am exhausted. Tonight I'm going to be talking about a dream that I had a few nights ago. I had more than one dream that night, and that day when I recorded only talked about one dream. So this is the other dream that I'm talking about tonight. And I feel like God wanted me to wait on this dream because sometimes I have dreams and I don't realize what the dream is telling me until later on. And this one was like a day later or 2 days later. But anyways, what happened in the dream was I was talking to a girl and she was telling me that for her and her husband, she wasn't about to take the main highway. She was going to take the back dirt roads. And that was it. Another short, simple dream. And I didn't know what the dream was talking about. So y'all, I was coming back home today. I was on the I, and I was coming back home. And so usually when I'm coming back home, I take the same route. My GPS never switches up on me and be like, you need to get off here and take this road. But today, my GPS was telling me to get off and go this way. And I'm like, why would I go that way? Like, I'm just trying to get back home because I had to go to work today. I had a vacation rental to clean today. So I was trying to get back because she had guests checking in. And I just wanted to take the normal way I take all the other times, which seemed real short. Today it just seemed super long, and I never seen this way before. I never took this way before. So I was like, okay, God, if you telling me to go this way, I'm gonna go this way. And instantly when I was thinking about if I'm gonna take the exit or not, I remembered this dream that I'm talking about. So when I started driving down the road, it was like God was telling me, go ahead, Ashley, take some notes. So I started taking notes. And what I started taking notes on was things that I saw. So the first thing that I saw was an eagle. Not a real eagle, but it was like some type of sign. And it said Eagle Landing. And it had a big eagle on it. And y'all know about eagles. We fly high. We fly high. We soar. Gotta be an eagle. And so that was already something right there that touched me. Just seeing an eagle, because I love eagles. But eagles, y'all know the stories about the eagles. If y'all want me to come back and explain that, I will. But as I drove, as I continued to drive after seeing the eagle, I started to see on my right hand side these trees, but all the trees were like cut down. It was like just their residue or whatever you want to call it. And even Zariah in the back seat was like, Mom, who did that? She was like, who did that? Because it was like a whole bunch of land and all the trees were just gone, and it just looked like just dead because it had already dried up and everything. It was like, I guess like wood chips, but it was not a cute sight. It wasn't at all. So what I got out of that was God will cut you back to promote you or to grow you. He will cut you back to make sure that you're still thirsty for him, that you're still hungry for him. He will cut you back, because it ain't nothing like a good cutting. Because when you, it's like my grandfather, he will cut back these trees in the yard. I don't know what you call them, but they're not really big trees, but they can get really big. And I remember he will cut those trees back, and then the following season they will bloom so pretty. I can't remember what those trees are called, but it's purpose in cutting back. It's purpose. It makes something beautiful out of the cutting. And the next thing that I saw was I saw a lot of busted Mack truck tires. It was like one every mile or something. Like, I saw them on both sides of the roads. And when I saw that, I just thought about how a Mack truck, because they had to be Mack truck tires. They just had to be. But when you see a Mack truck, or when a Mack truck gets a busted tires, they don't stop. They keep going. And the reason why they keep going is because they got other tires to be able to keep driving to get to whatever destination that they got to get to. And that's just like having faith. When if one tire busts, keep going. Just keep going. Don't ever stop. Don't give up. Just keep going. And that's what I got out of that when I saw all those busted tires. Oh, and then, I'm sorry, y'all, I'm looking at my notes. And I saw so many churches. I should have been counting them, but I didn't count them. But there was so many churches on each side of the road. Like, you gonna come past a church, and about the next mile, another church, this church, that church. And what I got out of that is, no matter what you are going through, whatever test or trial that you are facing in life, God is with you. God ain't gonna never leave us. He gonna always be right there with us through everything that he puts us through. He is right there. He just wants us to learn. He just wants us to learn what he's trying to teach us. And even when we ain't never gonna be done learning, never. But he's always gonna be right there with you. Every time you look left or right, up or even down, the church is still gonna be right there. He's gonna still be right there. And then I saw as I was driving, there was a lot of steep hills. Like, I'm talking about like roller coaster hills. Like, them jumps went way down, and then they came back up, and then went way down. And what I got out of that is, you might fight to get up the hill. You might fight to get past a situation, or whatever the case might be. You might have a hard time getting up that hill. But when it's time to come down, you coming down, and you're going to come down fast, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Like, the kids were just like, wee, coming down the hills. It might look hard, it might look big, but once you get up there and you come down, it's joy. It's joy. And then I saw a whole bunch of trees and water. And what I got out of that, like, a whole bunch of trees and like water. It wasn't like a swamp, but because the water was kind of clear, but those trees were still standing. Those trees were still thick and healthy trees, but they were submerged in water. And what I got out of that was, you might cry. I'm gonna cry, y'all. You might cry so many tears. Me just saying this makes me want to cry, but you might shed so many tears in life. But don't let it discourage you, because them tears, they water your seeds. They water your seeds. So me seeing those trees, just big, healthy trees, sitting in water and still alive, it just really touched me, because it was just an amazing sight to see. Sometimes we need to cry. Cry. Let them tears fall. Water your seeds. Water your seeds with them tears. It's okay to cry. Sometimes we need to let it out. I know I do. I know I do. And then, what else did I see? I saw old homes. And when I saw these homes, I was like, don't ever forget where you come from. Ever. Because that place where you came from is your core behind what you do in life, behind your purpose in life. Because that whole situation is what pushed you to work, to walk in your purpose. That's your core. That's where it all begins. So don't ever forget where you come from. Ever. Don't ever forget about it. Ever. And then what happened? Detours. It was like, this was a crazy detour because it was like, on my GPS, it was telling me it was a stop sign, but it was telling me go straight across. But the real road, the GPS hadn't picked up the new setting of the road that they did, because you had to make a turn, like a right turn, and then make a U-turn to get back on the road. It should have had a roundabout, but it couldn't have had a roundabout because it was like a main highway between. So you had to like make a whole U-turn just to get to the other side of the road. And it wasn't a long detour, but it was like, okay. So what I got out of that, so whatever detour you may think that you're facing or that you're facing in life, small or big, thank God for it, because you never know what he's blocking you from. You never know what type of detour he is trying to get you around or make sure it misses you. And just so happened he was detouring me, because if I would have, sorry y'all, if I would have been on that I, it was a lot of traffic backed up. It was a lot, and I'll tell you how I know that in a second. Then what I noticed was, while I'm on this back road, there's a whole bunch of cars. In the beginning, it had to been like maybe 12 cars. We all just, riding, no lights, no other traffic, just straight driving. But after a while, a lot of them cars disappeared. They either turned off or took another route, something. But I only noticed, like, honestly, one car that was still behind me and stayed behind me that whole time. And what I got out of that was, not everybody that starts with you is going to finish with you. Pray that they do stick with you to get past whatever situation that they're trying to get past, get out of their wilderness and get to their promised land. Pray that they stick with you. But some people just, they turn back. They go back to what they know. They go back to the old, and we cannot keep going back to the old. We got to keep going no matter what it looks like. We got to walk in faith. We got to walk on water like Peter did. We got to have that type of faith no matter what it looks like. Keep going. Keep going, because the same God who delivered the Israelites out of Egypt is the same God who's going to deliver you into your promised land, who delivered them into their promised land. And y'all, I'm getting ahead of myself, but that's what I got out of that. And then I saw a school, y'all. It was a school, a big behind school too, out there in the woods. It wasn't like the woods, but it looked like the wilderness. It was like, it wasn't normal for a school to be out there. But when I saw that school, I was like, yeah, we all got to be willing to learn. No matter who's teaching it, we all got to have an open mind to learning, big or small. You can learn from a child. I learn from my own kids all the time.